Hello and welcome to the vlog. The final destination of my autumn 2019 cruise is almost in sight. It's just 6 miles further along the canal at Whaley Bridge or Bugsworth Basin. The canal splits right at the end and I'll just decide which one to go down when I get there. There are no locks, but there are 2 swing bridges and 2 lift bridges, and it is drizzling rather unpleasantly. But I need to set off because I've got various friends visiting me over the next few days, and I've told them that's where I'm going to be. So I've got my waterproof trousers on, I've got hats and jumpers and coats and everything ready. Let's give it a go.
It was the kind of drizzle where at first glance it doesn't appear to be raining, unless you look closely at the deck and notice how moist everything really is. Knowing I had swing and lift bridges to pass, I set off in quick pursuit of a passing hire boat, intending to take shameless advantage of their 2-person crew. I think that shot sums up the weather quite nicely. Everything was damp in the air. My glasses and the camera lenses were getting splattered with droplets. That's a Canal and River Trust van. What are they up to, I wonder? This is the answer. Some kind of monitoring or spill containment just on the corner there. I didn't stop to chat. There's that hire boat approaching the first lift bridge. They were German, I think, and with 2 people aboard, one could easily operate the bridges while the other steered, and my cunning plan was to hop through at the same time. I felt a little bad just waiting for them to do all the work and then sailing through with nary a care in the world, but I justified it on the grounds that, well, it was raining and they were there. I suspect that someone keeping score may mark that against me, and I may not make it to the good place. Of course they needed to stop to pick up their crew member, so I went past and was in pole position to open the next one and return the favour. Here's where things got awkward. On seeing this next lift bridge, I just assumed it was the same as the last one, with paddle gear on the offside, so no use me opening it, as I'd have to take my boat up to the bridge to get off and on it with the bridge open. So I just sat back like some imperious, pompous overlord and let the holidaymakers come past to open it for me. This they did. So imagine my cringing shame when upon closer inspection I discovered this one is electronically opened from the towpath side. That means I could have had it open and ready for both of us by the time they arrived, taken my own boat through and shut the bridge myself without any problem. That would have meant we'd have done one each, with the next back to being their turn. But no, it was 2-0 in their favour entirely. I was crimson with embarrassment. And of course they stopped to pick up their crew member again, so I swept brazenly past, hoping I'd be able to do the next one for them at least. And round this corner is that next bridge, a swing bridge this time, and, you guessed it, it opens on the offside. I'd have to bring my boat right up to it in order to step back aboard after opening the bridge. That would have blocked the other boat's path, so I couldn't sensibly operate it for both of us. Yes, I had to stand there and wait for them again. Some people have suggested I should kick these bridges open from the towpath side, or give them a mighty shove, but that just didn't occur to me, I must admit, and I'm not sure it would have opened fully. So once again, for the 3rd time, I took advantage of these nice people. There they go. And me too. Feeling sheepish, I continued. These houses have the most fantastic outlook over the hills and valley. Imagine being here on a nice day. As you approach New Mills, an unexpected sweetness pervades the air. It's coming from this building, the Swizzles factory, confectionery manufacturers. They make refreshers, which are lovely, and Parma violets, which I can't stand, but I have been told I'm wrong on that. Here's something you don't see every day. Nice tweak to the locations on the logo. I don't know what it's like inside, but if you fancy it, the boat's for sale. Here's New Mills Marina, where I'd had a vague plan to stop while I left the boat for a bit, but it was very full and my circumstances changed anyway, as you'll soon hear. If it had been a nice day, I'd have stopped and flung the drone up. Never mind. Ah, Mr. Bridge, we've been expecting you. I seem to have left my German holidaymaker friends behind. Well, in truth, they probably ditched me for being so appalling earlier, so I had to do this one manually. This should demonstrate why I couldn't sensibly open the bridges for both of us before, because if I left the boat on the towpath bollards as normal, I wouldn't then be able to go back to it as soon as the bridge was open in order to bring the boat through. Taking a rope up with me and securing the boat on the offside seemed the only practical solution, but that then puts it in the way of any other boat coming through. There is a chain to pull the bridge shut from the towpath, but frankly it's quicker to just stop once you've gone through, leap off, shut it and carry on. That's the last of the obstructions, so I could head on towards Whaley Bridge and Bugsworth without any further stopping. Here's Furnace Vale Marina, which looks very pleasant. And these cottages opposite, on Calico Lane, must have some history to tell. Under this fine bridge, and there's a very overgrown bit of canal which, as I discovered when coming back later, is very shallow in parts. Cautiously round in case of anyone coming. This was early October, and autumn was definitely on the way. Just beyond here, the canal splits into two for the final mile or so. Straight on takes you to Whaley Bridge, left to Bugsworth. I thought I'd have a look at Whaley Bridge for moorings to start with. That's the Bugsworth arm. And this is the way to Whaley Bridge. There is a massive supermarket down there, which is very handy. Rather less pleasant, a very busy and very noisy road. It doesn't take more than a minute or two to reach the end of the canal, a basin to turn in and just a couple of mooring spots. But it was really loud, so I decided to head back up and give Bugsworth a go. I chucked a bag of rubbish at the facilities point, but headed back the way I'd come. Let's turn down the arm to Bugsworth then. The village itself is actually called Bugsworth now, changed in 1930 because locals felt Bugsworth was unpleasant. There's a sign in the water there. I wonder what it says. I steered in a bit closer to find out. Oh, but hang on, what's happening? The boat was now stuck on the silt in very shallow water. I would have to manoeuvre off. Ah, so that's what it says. How helpful. I do quite like pigs. They're funny animals. And here my journey was almost over. Bugsworth Basin is ahead just through this gap. I'd intended to spend a few days here, but just an hour after arriving, the CRT posted a notice saying they were going to close the Macclesfield Canal for 3 months, starting on Monday, and this was Friday afternoon. As my winter plan involved being back on the other side of the closure, that meant the very next morning I upped sticks and hot-footed it all the way back up the Peak Forest and down the Macclesfield to past Bollington. The CRT did later say they'd have let a few boats through for a couple of hours the following week, but there was no mention of that in their original warning, so I had to leave when I did. So here endeth my 2019 cruising. Cheerio.